Hey there, so you want to start implementing automation in your law firm, but you don't know where to get started. Watch this video and I'm going to show you how to develop a process to automate your law firm like a champ. I'm Alan Rodriguez. I'm the founder of Law Innovation Agency 1400, and I've been helping the nation's leading law firms and legal tech companies grow for over 2 decades. Okay, so you want to implement some automation in your law firm. Listen, before you start investing a lot of time tinkering with the software, it's going to really save you tons of time, headache, if you start mapping out your process using simple workflow diagram. For my example, I'm going to use Lucidchart, but there's plenty of free tools out there called Draw.io or Google Draw, whatever your tool of choice, even pencil and paper will work fine. I'm going to walk you through a basic intake procedure. All right, so I'm going to show you how I start to plan and map out automations that I'm going to use at my firm using a basic intake process as an example. So I've mapped this one out in advance, but basically you're either going to receive prospects through Google searches, word of mouth referrals, social presence, or targeted ads. Most of those will end up on your website. Some of them will call you directly. In any case, there's going to be some intake process to handle those new leads, right? And in some cases, that might be an assistant at an office or the attorney themselves. But there's usually some qualification process, and we'll call that sales qualified. There are at least 4 basic steps. 1, checking for conflict of interest. 2, making sure that the prospect has a legal need that you actually provide services for. 3, their legal need matches in area, geographical area or jurisdiction that you service. And 4, whether or not they can afford your services. So if people don't meet that criteria and we say no, this is where my first automation actually happens. What I could do then is thank them for thinking of us and politely not pursue like setting up a more formal consultation if it's an assistant. But then I could have that data drop into a newsletter drip campaign, right? So this is somebody that's already reached out to you. You've already borne the cost of this lead through either effort or actual marketing cost. It may make sense for you to communicate with them on a regular basis through your monthly newsletter or whatever amount of time that you use to distribute that. The second thing that we'll do with that user is create a referral drip automation. So that's where maybe this person wasn't the right fit, but maybe they know somebody that is. So what we'll do is we'll give it some time, let's call it 60 days, and then we'll set up a series of 4 emails where we send to the user like, hey, thanks for connecting with us a while back. If you have a friend or a colleague who you think would actually benefit from our service, please feel free to share this bit of information and we can provide a link to a blog post. And we automate the solicitation of referrals to other people by doing that. So that would be, by mapping this out, I would have seen that like, hey, there's a clear opportunity for some automation there. Let's assume that they're sales qualified. Well, at that point, we can set up a consultation. If this happened over the phone, then we'd probably just schedule it with them there on the phone. But there's another automation step, right? Your dentist does this. Maybe we can send reminders. Hey, looking forward to speaking with you tomorrow. Please confirm that our appointment date and time is still good for you, right? We can send SMS messages. We can also just allow people to schedule that appointment online, send them a link so that they can find a time that's important for them. If after we have the consultation, assuming the attorney may then decide, hey, this might be a good match, or no, this won't. If it's not a good match, well, then we've built this other automation up here, right? The newsletter and the referral drip. We'll just pop them into that experience there. But if they are a good match, yet another automation. Now we can start like, well, we have to get them an engagement letter out and we need to get paid. So using an automation tool, it could be as simple as clicking a button once you've set up the automation where the automated engagement letter goes out, payment link, and you eliminate any friction to getting paid and getting started. Let's assume for a second that you send that out and there's no response. So we wait one day. We got to give them some time to review that, maybe figure out which credit card they want to use. And then again, automation. So is the letter signed? Is the engagement letter signed? No, then we could launch what's called the nudge campaign. We can create a series of emails that says, hey, really enjoyed our conversation. I do still feel strongly that we're a good match for you. Looking forward to meeting your needs. Wait a couple of days, send another automated email that goes out that says something along the lines of, hey, time does not improve the outcome of your case. We're really looking forward to working with you. Please keep in mind that the engagement letter expires in 2 weeks, right? You create the sense of urgency. You can do this for whatever time period that you want, but have the software do it for you so you're not having to follow up. On the other end, let's assume that the intake questionnaire or the letter is signed. Yes, right? So now we're ready to do an intake questionnaire. So that could be like, if you're doing prenuptial agreements, hey, when's the wedding day? What's the name of the opposing party? It's probably stuff you would have captured in the sales qualification process, but maybe there's like list any names and birth dates of minor children or list assets, right? Whatever your intake questionnaire is for getting started with the work, you can have software just do that for you, collect that information. And just like the engagement letter, if the questionnaire is not complete, then you could, again, have a automated nudge campaign that says, we've got your engagement letter, we've got your payment, we're looking forward to completing this for you. However, we can't move on to the next step until we get this information from you. Send out a series of 4 to 5 emails. If that does the job, great. Now you're ready to move the matter over to your practice management tool. Of course, if they filled it out pretty immediately, then you would do the same, move it over to the practice management tool. And if after an unsuccessful nudge campaign of like 4 to 5 emails, if it's still not complete, well, again, automation for a manual task where you create a task, to set up a call to follow up with the person and make sure that you get the information, right? So very simple intake workflow. Most law firms just do this work anyway. They just kind of grind through it manually. Here, by mapping it out and visualizing it, you can find the opportunities for where you want to automate certain parts of those processes and let the software do the work for you. So while automating your law firm might feel like a difficult task, it really starts with just thinking through how work goes from point A to point B in your law firm and mapping the process out. For this and other tips, visit us at 1400.com, and I look forward to seeing you soon.